Hey everybody, here we are. Yeah, how you doing? Nice seeing you all. I'm glad to be here. You're here. Hey, I'm going to move my chair over there. Back. Yeah, back. Okay. I'm moving fast today, everybody. How are you doing out there? Is everybody cool? I'm cool. You're cool. We're cool. They're cool. Everybody's cool. The world's going to shit, but we're cool. That's our job is to stay cool while the world's going to shit, man. Anyway, I never knew. I'm going to get right to the questions because I'm in a hurry today. I have stuff to do. I got a busy day, and today, yeah, I'm exploding already. Okay, I never knew the guys in Sparks. Sorry, I never knew them. I was never good at remembering lyrics. Somebody asked me if I was good at remembering lyrics. I played at the boarding house. I said I didn't remember the lyrics. Somebody mentioned that, and the audience was cool with it. But I always had that problem. Even back in the day, I just couldn't remember the lyrics for songs for shit. I was really bad at that, and I'm still bad at it. But it has nothing to do with age because way back in the day, I couldn't remember the lyrics either. How did I become Lee Michaels? Oh, wow. How do I tell that story? Okay, I was adopted by this family. Their name was the Olsons, Olson. I know it says SEN on a lot of the internet stuff, but it's SON. The Olsons adopted me. And I never felt like an Olsen because they all looked a certain way and I didn't look like them, So they looked like Olsons and I looked like whatever I was because I was adopted. And I kept getting busted for being underage, playing in clubs. Everywhere I went, I got busted. So when I joined the Sentinels, we went to play in Montana. We did play these gigs in Montana. I've talked about it before. I think it was in Great Falls, and we met these girls, and they said I could use their address. So I went to the Montana DMV, and I got a license, and they said, "You've never driven before?" I go, "No, I just grew up on a farm around here. I never drove." And so they gave me a license, and it said Lee Michaels. Well, my name when I was growing up, my name was Michael Lee Olson. So Michael Lee Olson. So I took my middle name and made it my first name, and my first name and made my last name. That way my friends could still call me Mike. And but then nobody ever called me Mike after that. They just called me Lee, so I guess it was meant to be. But I was never an Olsen, and I always felt like I can't go parading around saying I'm an Olsen because I wasn't. They looked a certain way. They were Swedish, and I wasn't. And then somebody asked me if I ever did a DNA test, because that's sort of, naturally being adopted, I wondered about my past and stuff. So I did a DNA test, and I had Danish, and I had a little bit of German and a little bit of Welsh. That's what I had in me. So that's my background, I guess. For all I know, that's what the DNA said. So there, we'll go on. Somebody asked me about a fly guitar. I had this guitar. I had this Guild electric guitar. It looked sort of like an SG Gibson, but it was a Guild. And we laminated a picture. This guy laminated a picture for us of a slab of meat, a big giant steak. He took a picture of the steak and then laminated that onto the guitar. And then this girl, we had these little flies with these little wings, and this girl painted them all iridescent. And we glued all the flies all over the piece of meat on the guitar. It didn't really translate well because from the audience you really couldn't tell what it was. It looked like little specks. But anyway, so we had the flies were glued onto the guitar, and it was a slab of meat. And so my idea was I would bite the flies off the guitar and spit them at the audience. You got to understand, I was so into wanting to be a guitar player, but I was never any good at it. But I thought the guitar players are having all the fun, so I'm going to have some fun. So I made a meat guitar with flies on it. And my idea was to bite the flies off and spit them at the audience. And I thought that was, for some reason, I thought that was cool. Okay, that's the story of the meat guitar. The fly guitar. I knew the Red House Red House, I knew that album was out that I played on him with Hendrix, and I know this song was Red House. I heard it once. It didn't sound like much, but I heard it. Jimmy and I never talked about being in a band together. Somebody asked me, did he ever talk about me being in a band with him? No, we never really discussed me being in a band with him. You know, we hung out a few times, but that never came up. I met Dr. John once, but I never knew him really. I just met him once. I was with Frosty, and Frosty knew him, and I met Dr. John. I love Dr. John's music, man. I love music from New Orleans. I just always love that groove, that New Orleans groove, and I always loved Dr. John, man. It's good you mentioned that because people ask me, what did you like back in the day? Well, Dr. John was one of those people I liked, yeah. Somebody said they talked to Bill Graham once at the Shoreline Amphitheater, and I says, "What would you have Lee play here?" And Bill says, "No, Lee's into cats, and he's not doing that anymore." And yeah, and he said I wouldn't have filled the Shoreline Amphitheater, and he was absolutely right. I wouldn't have filled it, and so there was no way I would have ever played there. I have no Billy Preston stories, but that's another name. I always liked Billy Preston. I always thought he was the coolest, you know. I liked him, yeah. I never met, all the times I played in Detroit, I never met Bob Seger or Mitch Ryder, MC5. Big Kitty doesn't get leftovers from Killer Shrimp. Man, I'm going through the questions fast because I'm in a hurry today. Big Kitty doesn't get leftovers from Killer Shrimp, but I never met all those guys in Detroit. Maybe I did. I just don't remember. But and maybe we played on the same shows. I don't remember. But I don't think I ever played on a show with Seeger or MC5 or Mitch Ryder. I just don't think so. Anyway, but who am I? I don't know. Somebody asked me if I was worried about the Zodiac Killer up in San Francisco in the day. I really didn't think about it much. Somebody asked me who played the trash can drums. It was Alan Weir. Alan Weir was a Hawaiian guy. His brother was Don Weir, on Don Weir's Music City in San Francisco, which at the time was a major San Francisco music store. It was the place to go, and it was like very hip. And Don Weir was really a gregarious individual. He was friends with Brian Rohan. Anyway, his brother, Alan, played in my band, and he was a good drummer. He was a really good drummer. I came up with the idea for the garbage can drums, by the way. We made those. But Alan was nice enough to play them. And anyway, he was a good player. He was a real good player. He had good feel. Yeah, I really liked him. I never jammed with Doug Clifford, no. I don't own an accordion. I'm going through these questions fast. I don't own an accordion. Somebody asked me about the album Tailface. Well, Tailface, sometimes I would just come up with names for albums that meant nothing. They weren't significant. Like Tailface, I just thought that was a funny name, Tailface. I thought it was funny, so I made that the name of the album, but it really had no significance. Yeah, just like Space and First Takes, I just thought that sounded good, but it really didn't mean anything, just Space and First Takes. Anyway, I never met the German in Venice. I was thinking about meeting him, though, because he's down here sometimes, not as much as he used to be when he had his place on the boardwalk. But yeah, I've watched a lot of his episodes. There was episodes where he was kind of cool. And then he turned into kind of a fanboy for Hollywood, and I sort of drifted away from his podcast. But I watched a lot of his earlier episodes. I was one of his earlier subscribers, actually, but I never met him. But I was thinking about cruising up to him and say, "Hey, man, what are you doing? Let's go have lunch at Killer Shrimp or something," because I figured I liked his podcast, and he was a cheery guy, so I thought I'd invite him to lunch one day. Maybe I still will. If I ever run into him, I'll say, "Hey, dude, let's go eat," Anyway, he's a funny guy. I loved Albert King. Fucking Albert King, man. He was my favorite of all those blues guys. I liked him way more than B.B. King, his music and stuff. Albert King just had a way about him. He just kind of crunched it. Yeah, I really loved Albert King. Yeah. But I don't know if I ever played on a show with Albert King. I have a feeling I might have played with him at the Avalon, but I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't even remember if he played the Avalon. Anyway, I don't know. I never met any of the plaster casters. Sorry, everybody. I was never casted by the plaster casters. They never contacted me. I never contacted them. I just wasn't that interested in doing their thing, you know. That was funny. Um, Somebody asked me if I get money for albums. Yeah, I get money, and it comes in. You never know when it's going to come in. A check will just appear out of nowhere like magic, and there will be a check. But, you know, some checks come in quarterly. Some checks come in randomly. It's just like money from heaven. You never know. It's bing, there's a check, you know. Sometimes they're small. Sometimes they're medium. They're never huge, but they're always something, you know. Who played with me on Midnight Special? That would have to have been Alan Weir once again, Hawaiian drummer, really good drummer. Wow, really good. And Woody was on bass, and fuck, I can't remember Woody's last name. I apologize to Woody if you're out there, if you're hearing my podcast. I'm sorry, Woody, I can't remember your name. Maybe Woody wasn't his real name, but anyway, he was Woody. Anyway. Oh, somebody asked me about the dire wolves. Isn't that a trip, man, that they took the DNA 10,000 years old and made a wolf? That's just crazy shit. I think that's so wild. What else are they going to make? If they can do it with a wolf, what can they make? A saber-toothed tiger? Can they make a Mastodon, or who knows what they're going to make, you know? That's just crazy. I really love that. Yeah, I watched a bunch of stuff about the dire wolves, and I thought, God, that is so cool. That is so cool. I really love animals, and I thought, wow, they just fucking invented the dire wolf with a tooth and a piece of bone from the brain, and a piece of bone from the skull, and a piece of DNA from the tooth, and the DNA from the skull, and they made a wolf 10,000 years extinct, and they made it. That's just that's so crazy. I really like that. Oh, yesterday. Yeah, I don't know what happened yesterday. I clicked off as usual. I didn't do anything weird. I just clicked off. You clicked twice to stop the podcast. I clicked twice, and maybe the second click didn't take, so it stayed live or something. I don't know what happened, but it freaked me out. But finally, it got unstuck, and you all left comments, so I appreciate that. Somebody asked me if I had set lists back in the day. I never had a set list back in the day, but I knew what songs I was going to play, and we sort of had an order to the songs. So there was sort of an informal set list, but there was never actually a set list that we adhered to. But we did have a sort of sequence of songs that we played. Yeah, it was very informal. And the last question, look at it. What time is it? Wow, we're blasting through this podcast. I'm sorry, it's going to be a short podcast. The last question, how was my reaction to the Beatles? Well, when the first Beatles album came out, that's when I was playing in the Sentinels. I remember it, and that summer well, because we were staying in an airport we were staying in a hotel by the airport in L.A. We were playing some gig downtown at a place called the Iron Horse or something, and all these girls were running by the hotel towards the airport. I mean, really a lot of girls were just streaming down the street for the airport. And we go, what is that? What is going on? It turned out the Beatles were flying in, and they were all these girls were just stampeding towards the airport, which is really crazy if you know LAX. And it's just so crazy that they would be running down the street, because how would they get there anyway? But girls were all running down the street to see the Beatles. So I didn't like the first Beatles album too much. But then naturally, when they got to Rubber Soul and Sgt. Pepper's and all those albums, I was really into those albums. We took a lot of acid and listened to those albums. And so, yeah, I was into them, but not their very first album. Their very first album sounded kind of corny to me. Today it sounds less corny than it did then to me, but yeah, that was my reaction to the Beatles. I was going to tell you something else. Oh, when I was staying at that hotel that I was just talking about, and we were playing at a place called Iron Horse. We were at the Iron Horse when the Watts riots broke out. And we were playing in the Iron Horse, and the fucking everybody went crazy. People were rioting everywhere and burning down and ripping phone booths out of the. That's when they had phone booths. They were ripping into phone booths, and it was just chaos everywhere. And the cops came into the club, and they says, "We got to get you out of here." And we took all our equipment out of the club and put it on our thing, and the cops gave us an escort out of the area. But I remember we were driving out of the area, and man, people were going crazy. They were burning shit, and it was really a wild scene. And we were in the club, and all of a sudden fights started breaking out in the club. It got really crazy, and we didn't know what was going on. And it was a riot was starting, and it started right then. So we were right there in the thick of it, and we were in the thick of it, man. We were right there, and they were rioting everywhere and burning shit, and so we were driving along, and the cops were escorting us out of that area, man, people were burning stuff and running down the street and smashing windows, and it was just chaos. It was total chaos, but I was there. That was somewhere. Yeah. So it's funny you asked me about the Beatles, and that it reminds me of the LA riots, because that was that was happening right then too. So put it in perspective, everybody. Yeah, that's that. Well, this is going to be a short podcast today because I have stuff to do. I'm going to be zooming around today doing stuff. I like doing stuff. I like zooming around. But I also like doing my podcast, and I like seeing all of you. I have some more time. Let me see what time it is. Oh, yeah, I can talk for some more. What can we talk about here? What can we talk about? You know, some of your questions really, I go, wow. I try to answer everybody's questions because I appreciate your questions, you know. And I notice some people are serial questioners. Serial questioners. The same people ask some questions every day, but that's cool. I'll answer your questions, man. I got more answers than you got questions. How's that? So you can ask as many questions as you want because it's fun. Yeah, it is fun actually. This podcast, and I don't know. Yeah, it's so crazy, man. Well, I noticed I had 964, I think, subscribers today. We're getting close to 1,000. You're going to hear this story. You're going to blow your mind. You're going to say, you did what? You fucking moron. Man, you're going to say, Lee, that's the dumbest thing you ever did in your life. I've done some dumb shit, but when I tell you this story, you're going to say, man, that ranks right up there with the dumbest shit anyone could possibly do. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, the dire wolves, man. I was tripping on that so heavily, looking at that stuff going, man, those guys, I mean, they could maybe bring back a dinosaur or something. I mean, if you can bring back a dinosaur from 10,000 years ago, a dire wolf, maybe you can bring back all kinds of stuff, man. That would be pretty wild, man, of a dinosaur or a Tyrannosaurus Rex or one of those things that, you know, maybe they'll bring back Godzilla or King Kong. Yeah, I like that stuff, man. I think a saber-toothed tiger, that would be a pretty magnificent creature, man. It would be pretty big and with those big teeth. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they bring back cave people like Cro-Magnon and all those guys, all the ancient humans or whatever they were. They could go back far enough to get people where they weren't people before the aliens impregnated us or upgraded our consciousness or whatever. Is that what you think? I know everybody's got their thing about aliens and stuff. I'm really into the whole alien thing. I think a lot of the times in the past when people thought it was God coming down from the sky and the angels and everything, I think those were aliens. And religious scholars are studying that shit, and there's some kind of consensus there that a lot of the mystical stuff that we thought was godlike and was really just aliens, man, coming down. And I think that aliens, when aliens first arrived here, we were like picking fleas off of each other. You know what I mean? We were like picking fleas off each other. We were like just another monkey, you know, out there. And they came in, they upgraded us. And that's what I believe. I believe they upgraded us, you know. And you know how when you cross wild animals with domestic animals, you get first generation, second generation, fourth generation. The first generation is still pretty wild, but then you get a fourth generation animal, like those Bengal cats and stuff that people breed. Some of them are like fourth generation, so they're not as wild, but the first generation ones are wilder. So maybe there's the same with humans. Like when we were upgraded by the aliens, the first upgrades were one thing, and then later we became another thing. But we kind of gradually. But maybe throughout history, there's been they come back down and upgrade certain they upgrade certain people. I don't want to poo-poo on anybody's religion, but maybe Jesus was a first generation. Maybe Mary didn't have sex with anybody. Maybe she was impregnated by aliens, and he was a first generation, like you would have a first generation of animals or something. He was a first gen, and there hadn't been any first gens in a long time. So when he showed up, it was like kind of shocking, you know, because he was a first gen. Now that's blasphemy. I know some people are going to be really upset with me. But I'm not saying that to upset you. I'm saying that I'm curious. I'm thinking, I wonder if that was what it was. I wonder if he was like a first generation upgrade, like a direct upgrade, you know, like not generations removed from the direct upgrade. So maybe if the aliens showed up at one point and upgraded us, and from that point on, humanity kind of like went forward. Maybe that has something to do with the Adam and Eve story, you know what I mean? And that. Yeah, all that stuff, I think it's all alien connected. And I think all the religion is alien connected on some cosmic level. And I could be totally wrong. I'll die and maybe regret saying all this stuff. But maybe there's something to it, everybody. Maybe that's what I think. In fact, this movie I was trying to make in the virtual world, that now we're going to make it in AI because AI is so much better. Big kitty, I feel you down there. Come up here. Yeah, that's what my movie's about. It's about aliens and upgrading humans and yeah, that's what it's about. My movie's really about aliens. And in my movie, you know how everybody's concept of aliens is these solemn things. They stand there, they have no expression. They're like, well, in my movie, the aliens are really jokers. They all have a sense of humor. Like there's one scene. I'll tell you a little bit about it. Wow, it's so cool. These college students go through this. These 3 college students go through this portal, and they wind up in this place called Parallel. And Parallel is a parallel universe to the Earth. And my concept is the aliens are here all the time, but they're just in another dimension. And in that dimension, in my movie, is called Parallel. And fuck, what was I going to tell you? Anyway, so the aliens are jokers. They all have a sense of humor. What if our sense of humor, our ability to love, our love of the arts, what if those are all alien traits? We always talk about those are the human traits that make us so different from the animals, or those human traits. Maybe those aren't human traits at all. Maybe those are alien traits. You know what I mean? Our ability to love, our creativity, our sense of humor. All that stuff, maybe those are alien traits, you know? So like, I don't think aliens are totally like these solemn creatures, you know? I think we are, if we come from them, then that all the things that we think are human traits are actually alien traits. Our whole, like, this makes us humans. We're so different. No, maybe this makes us aliens. We're so different. So anyway, in my movie, the college students wind up in parallel by accident. They follow POSIITIVE, which is one of the characters, through a portal. She leaves it open like an idiot. And so they follow her through the portal, and they wind up in this place where all these aliens are. And they go, where are we? And all the aliens start laughing. They go, well, and they go, what is this? Where are we? And the aliens are all laughing. And one of them goes, well, you could call it heaven. And they're all freaked out because they think maybe they're dead, The students think maybe they're dead. And they all the aliens start laughing, man. But they don't look like aliens. Hello, big kitty. I'm telling the story about humanity and creation and aliens. And you come right up here. Oh, hello. Everybody, Big Kitty made an appearance. That's a great thing, a great sign. So anyway, the aliens have this sense of humor, and they all start laughing because one of them says, well, you can call this place heaven, And, hey, don't bite that. Don't bite that. Don't bite that. Don't bite that. Don't. No, wait, everybody. I got to get it. Okay. Now, oh, shit, man. He just stepped on my shit. I hope I'm still happening. I think we're not happening here. Oh, no. I think I'm back. Wow, Big Kitty stepped on the keyboard and canceled me out. I forgot to push the keyboard out of the way so he wouldn't step on it. Well, anyway, he made an appearance. He fucked our podcast up, but here I am. Wow, he messed us up, man. I hope I'm still podcasting. I don't know for sure, but anyway, so the aliens are all jokers, and they go, where is this? And they go, you can call it heaven. And they all start laughing, and the aliens are just laughing. They're like real jokers because they have a sense of humor, because all the traits that we think are human traits are actually alien traits. All the things that make us so uniquely human. What if those are actually alien traits? That's my concept of my movie. So then it says, well, they go, well, who are you? The students ask them, well, who are you, And they all start laughing again, and they go, well, you could call us God. And then they all burst out laughing because they think it's so funny, the whole God myth, And so I'm not saying God is a myth, but I'm saying in my movie, this is how the aliens react. They're just jokers, man. They're jokers. They don't have a serious moment, man. They're just like laughing and making jokes. And that's my aliens in my movie, man. They're not like solemn aliens standing there with no expression. And they're total jokers. And they look like humans in the movie part of the time, and part of the time like aliens. They morph back and forth, like skinwalkers or whatever you call those things. Big Kitty, you messed me up. Anyway, that's what my movie's about. It's going to be a great movie, but we were going to make it in the virtual world, and we have all these characters. We've spent years building all these characters and getting everything right, and now we've discovered AI. And so what we've done is we've taken pictures of the characters that we created in the virtual world, and we showed them to AI, and now AI's made them look like real people. It's so fucking amazing. Like, AI has taken our characters from the virtual world, our avatars, and it's made them look like real people. So we're really on to something, and we're working really hard every day trying to get this together. So that's what my alien movie's about. So the aliens are laughing. They're saying, you can call us God. And they're saying, and where is this? And they say, it's heaven. And I'm telling you all the lines from the movie. I don't know. Maybe that'll mess everything up. But anyway, that's what my movie's kind of about. And I'm not particularly religious. So if any of you guys are religious out there, please don't be insulted, because I'm not insulting your beliefs or everybody should believe what they want. I've never been particularly religious. Something about it does resonate with me. But the alien thing really resonates with me, and I really believe in my heart that all the angels and everything that we've always seen and all this stuff that's come down from the heavens throughout all these cultures all over the world, they all report it. It's got to be aliens, man. It's got to be aliens. And I don't think the aliens come from a zillion miles away. I think they're right here. And in my movie, the big dilemma for the aliens is they want to remove all the humans from Earth, because if Earth fails, parallel fails. That's their place. So they're right here all the time in a different dimension. And if we destroy the planet, we destroy their dimension too. So they have a vested interest in Earth not failing. And so their consensus among the aliens is the only way to save the planet is to get rid of all the humans. And so, but one of the main characters, POSIITIVE, she doesn't want them to do that because she wants to be a movie star. And she's telling them, can you wait 5 years or 10 years to get rid of all the humans? Because I want to be a movie star. And they're just laughing at her because it's so funny. But anyway, this movie is out there, and it's going to be a really great movie if I ever get it made. Yeah, we were going to do it in the virtual world, but now we're going to do it in AI because AI is so fucking good. And thank you, Carol, for working, for trying the AI and checking it out, and just thank all of you for checking it out, man. Kelly Bosch, Boesch, man, that girl is on another level. So every day we're doing little AI stuff, trying to converting our characters to AI, and some of them will turn out really good, and some of them don't turn out so good. But we're getting there, man. We're getting there. We're working on it. And I work with this girl in France, and she does all this stuff. And so her and I collaborate. And so we get on WhatsApp, and then we meet in the virtual world, and we share videos, and we show our progress to each other. And hi, Phinia. How you doing out there? Yeah, hang in there. I know life is weird, but hang in there. Anyway, I get excited when I talk about it. See, I didn't have nothing to talk about today, but I start talking about my movie, and I'm really happy. I keep looking at my clock here, but the time on my phone, because I have something happening in 20 minutes, so I can talk some more. Yeah. Anyway, I love all you guys. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're listening to me talk about what I'm doing. So that's what I'm doing. And there's also music involved. I'll be doing the music for this movie too. Yeah. And I heard, Suno. I've been doing a little stuff in Suno. That's some AI music and that everybody's so down on, They're all, AI music, I hate it. But I've been going in there tripping out, man. It's a trip. I don't care, So what? I don't care. The way I look at it, like I play my keyboards and somebody else plays the drums, somebody plays the bass, everybody plays what they play, So AI to me is just like another player, It's just, AI, yeah, of course. Why not, I'm sure there's going to be some AI drummers that are just outrageous in the future, like where you'll be able to call up a drummer in AI and it'll just play with you and be as good as any drummer you've ever heard, Like people are worried about AI ripping everybody off and taking their likeness and stuff, but everybody copies everybody. The whole world sounds alike. Nobody's living in a vacuum where everything they do is original. Everybody's affected by everything they hear, so I just embrace it. Yeah, like shit, let me hear it all. I want to hear everything. Yeah, what else have I got to do? I want to hear it all. Anyway, that's my theory on religion, and that's my theory on aliens. And my theory is they're not as solemn as we think, and they have a. But imagine that if all of our human traits, all the things that we are so proud of that makes us so distinctly human, what if all of those traits are alien traits? Like in my movie, the aliens are talking to me, they're telling them, yeah, when we showed up, you guys were picking fleas off each other. That's how they look at it. Like some of the aliens in my movie are like 50,000 years old. And they say, yeah, when we showed up, you guys were picking fleas off each other. We were just some other monkeys anyway. That's my concept. You may not like that, and some of you might get angry. I know how serious people are about their religion, so I don't want to bum you out. I'm just telling you what I'm tripping about and what my movie is. There's another scene in my movie where the aliens are swimming, and the college students get in the water, and then they come out of the water and they're all pissed off because the aliens are all wet, but they're totally dry. Their hair is dry, their clothes are dry. And they're going, well, what's happening? And they're talking to each other, the three college students. They can't believe that they're not wet, And so they say, what's up with this? You guys are all wet and we're not wet. And the aliens all start laughing. They go, we're alive. And then the students are freaked out. They go, oh, no, maybe we're dead. So the students don't know if they're alive or dead. And they're in parallel. Because they go in the water, they don't get wet. They come out, their hair is the same, everything. They're not wet, and they're just totally freaked because the aliens are all wet, and the aliens look like people in that scene, and they're all wet. Anyway, the students are very perplexed, and the goal of the students is to get back to their world, to get back in the other dimension where they go through the portal. And the alien that left the portal open, the students become the responsibility of the alien that left the portal open. That's her punishment. She has to protect them because the devil's in there too. And the devil comes flying in at one point and is doing brodies and flipping and flying in the sky. The devil lands, and the devil heard there's three students there and is coming to take their souls. The devil was coming to take their souls. But the devil can't take their souls because they don't have a shadow. And there's these little aliens, and they're called shadow takers, and they have these black eyes, and because they take shadows. And the little aliens take the shadows, the shadow takers. I'm telling you my whole movie. And the devil's all pissed off because it can't take the souls of the students because they don't have shadows, because the little shadow takers are standing there protecting them. And, hang on, everybody. What's happening, Ralph?
Hey, hi.
I'm on podcast. I'm podcasting. Do you have something urgent?
No, the guy's coming at 7.
I'll call you back.
Okay, bye.
See, I got something happening at 7. It's not even 7 o'clock yet. Anyway, I guess I got to go. But that's the little shadow takers are protecting the students. And the one character, Boa Tutti, let them through the portal, and so she has to protect them also. So they're her responsibility. But anyway, the whole movie's a trip, man. Like they go swimming, they don't get wet. The little there's shadow takers that took their shadows to protect them, and so the devil's all put off because the shadow takers. The shadow takers. And in fact, if you go watch my movie, there's a little part in the virtual world. You can see some of the characters we created in there. You can look at them all. And you can see the little shadow taker in the one scene. You can see the devil come flying in. Now, when we do it in the virtual world, the devil will look totally different, because the virtual world takes it to another level. So you can get an idea of what we're doing. Oh, and there's a planet that crashed and there's one part of the scene you can see this in my movie. We did a little clip of what we're doing, and the aliens all floating above this planet, this blue planet, this crashed into the thing there, and they made a seating around it, and the aliens float over the planet in order to charge their energy, because they don't eat food, they just live on energy, and so they're there, and their brains they have brains, and they're glowing the same blue as the planet, and so they all pulse together in unison and they recharge their batteries. Anyway, it's really cool, and you'll see it if you go to watch my movie. So Welcome to My Street is the name of my movie, and there's a segment in there, a little segment where we show the virtual characters in the virtual movie that we're creating, and in AI, it's even way better. It's way better. So go watch that in my movie. You can see that's where it is, and that's where it is. So anyway, I got to go. As you can tell, I'm getting calls already. I got somebody coming here at 7, and then I got to go do something after that. I'm just zooming around all day, man. I'm starting early and zooming around. I get so excited talking about my movie. I hope you guys are excited too. I'm going to be very careful to click off so I don't get stuck in the live mode today. Big Kitty messed us up. I hope I'm still podcasting because he stepped on everything, and I think I got back in. I think I'm still podcasting. I'll check it later. Love you guys. Hope you like hearing about my movie. Don't get weird about God and stuff. I'm not weird, so you don't have to be weird with me. Yeah, we're all going somewhere after this, but who knows where. Maybe we're going to parallel. Maybe our human traits are alien traits. Maybe the stuff that makes us so special is alien traits. Maybe that's our alien self. Yeah. Anyway, I've talked enough. I got stuff to do, everybody. Have a good day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Give me some questions so I have some stuff to talk about. 3, 2, 1. Poof.